We take rather unfair advantage of religious kooks on our channel rather often. They're pretty easy targets because they're pretty conventional thinkers. They think in a primitive manner, and it kills all of their intellectual resources that they were born with because they've been programmed with their religiosity. But this is a real stumper for the religious, those of faith, and it's something that could quite possibly help them in terms of dealing with their own health and the consequences of disease and how they are dealt with and treated, and in particular to whom they visit for care. Now, providing a very simple example, say that you're going in for some cardiac issues. Let's just say that you have to have a quadruple bypass, which would be known as the widowmaker because of the survival rate of patients who are struck with such a brutal condition. But let's say you're going in for a quadruple bypass. You have two choices. You can go to a doctor who spends 6 hours praying for you on your behalf and for your personal regard and well-being, or you can select a cardiac surgeon who spends the same exact 6 hours at a medical library researching the various conditions and procedures for remediating your condition as best as it can possibly be dealt with surgically. Your call. You go to the voodoo guy, playing with wads of mud, poking sticks in it, praying, making some weird sounding chirps and squawks, maybe a grunt or two here and there just for show. Maybe he'll put out a plate and you can put an extra tip in there after your procedure. It just sounds mindless. So in terms of faith, we would recommend going to a doctor who has faith in themselves rather than in some supernatural force that's going to magically cure you. It's not really a difficult decision to make if you really think about it for just a second. Who would you rather have? The character who prays on your behalf for hours and hours. God, I hope they survive this surgery I'm about to do on them. Or the doctor who's fully confident in their level of skill, knowledge, expertise, real physical expertise. They're inside your body and inserting objects that weren't there initially. Stents, things that will actually save your life. Who do you want? Dr. Voodoo or the surgeon? It's your call. It's interesting how people of faith run to the emergency room when something occurs. If you really had faith, wouldn't, after being hit by a car or having your hand severed by a saw, wouldn't you just want God to heal it? We thought that's what faith was, but apparently there's a cutoff, and even an insensible mind can have reason at the most critical moments. It's very interesting. Which doctor you choose? And which do you choose? We go with the actual doctor. The faith healer speaks for itself.